lovely people. Oh, my candle is dying. Welcome to your daily focus tarot for Saturday, the 11th of June. This month is just flying by. So for today, we have the Ten of Swords, the Three of Wands, the Queen of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. Now, the Ten of Swords, it looks really, really bad. It can talk about a loss, a crisis, obviously being stabbed in the back, being betrayed by a whole bunch of different people. He didn't even really have much of a chance to defend himself. You can see his wand is broken, his spirituality, his healing, his helmet's off, his shield is down, and they're almost laying there like, gotta turn the light back on. They're almost laying there like he didn't have a chance to grab for them. And I can't tell if this is like part of the sideburn of the helmet or if this is almost like part of the wand. His own wand stabbed him in the eye. This right here on the card. It's really hard to see. If it's part of the helmet, that means that the lower portion of the helmet is buried in the grass. Meaning he wasn't thinking, he wasn't looking out for an attack. If it's part of this broken off wand here, somebody stabbed him in the eye. His ability to see clearly wasn't functioning. He was blinded. Even before the attack, he was blinded. So this can be about not just betrayal. It could be about loss and crisis. It can be about an ending. For clarifiers, we have the Five of Cups, which can be about regret, ignoring what you have and being grateful for it, and focusing on what you no longer have. Spilled milk. And with the Castle here, the wish fulfillment, the good life, the dream, and the unconscious river. And he's almost naked. He's just got, I don't know if that's a towel or a robe. He doesn't have much on. But he's definitely crying over these three cups here and ignoring the two in the back, which is common in most tarot decks. So this is about regret and also about loss. And it can be about neglect. It can be about neglecting to pay attention, neglecting to see what is going on around you with this Ten of Swords. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. I'll flip it over so you can see what it looks like normally. Now in reverse, he's pulling it out of the crown. He's pulling it out of the crown chakra. He's taking this sword and he's almost waking the person up. This golden hand is, whether you think of it as Midas or, just a golden hand in the sky. So this talks about rethinking something, releasing something, with pulling the sword out of the crown. Can also talk about insecurity and confusion. Definitely rethinking. Definitely insecurity with that Five of Cups here. But then we also have the Three of Wands, which is looking towards the future, these new buds, these newly tended fields, this river. It's about expansion, strategy, and planning. And for clarifiers for that one, we have the King of Cups and the Eight of Wands. He looks quite smug. And he's got, I just noticed it, the fish are here, but I don't think that's a fish. I think that's more of like an eagle or a hawk. Could be a fish. He's even got a fish necklace. So he is about emotionally balancing, diplomacy, and restraint. So with this expansion, with this strategy and planning, you're definitely coming at it from a balanced place with your emotions, as opposed to this regret from the Five of Cups. Like, you may be allowing yourself to wallow in regret briefly when this Ten of Swords moment happens, but then you're going to get over it and you're going to use it to jump into this strategy, this planning ahead, and you're going to be more emotionally balanced. And this Eight of Wands is talking about fast change and a new beginning. It's talking about productivity, and it also talks about balance. So definitely don't, when this Ten of Swords moment happens, don't let it get you down, because then you're going to have this expansion, this Three of Wands, and you're going to have the Queen of Pentacles, productivity, everything you want materially. She's getting ready to bang the drum. She's a very motherly figure, very stable, very abundant. She's also very practical. She's not using her voice to scream out at her people. She's using her drum to call them in. This is a new day. She's calling them into this new day. And for clarifiers for this one, I'll flip it up so you can see it, but it came in the reverse. We have the Seven of Cups. Upright. It's not a very good card to get. In the reverse, it can be talking about being overwhelmed by choices. Like when it's upright, it's almost about greed and secrecy related to that greed, sort of hoarding, like this dragon here. But when it's in the reverse, it can be talking about like a lot of choices, like an overabundance of choices, and not necessarily knowing which one to go for. It can mean being tempted. So like all these choices are tempting you to give up your values, to give up your time with the people you care about. We also have upright, Nine of Wands, and this can be about anxiety, about fears. It can also be about a crisis and your anxiety and fears about this crisis. But you see this child here. Sometimes I look at it and I see the swords, the crown of swords, pointed upright. So nobody can like cuddle this child. Nobody can comfort them. But other times when I look at it, especially from farther away, I see like the crown of light. And so like these other ghosts, these accusing, these judgmental, these, fear and anxiety, hunger, lack, these ghosts are being driven away by this child that has promise. The promise of this sunlight and these roses, this milk and honey. So the Queen of Pentacles is telling you not to focus on that, not to focus on your worries, not to focus on your anxieties, not to focus on your choices in terms of financial abundance, but to focus on the choices and make the choice that brings you joy, that doesn't bring you any of this stuff. Focus on the choice that, even though all choices might be helping you to expand and grow, focus on the choice that makes you feel loved, that makes you feel comforted, and the abundance will follow. We also have Three of Cups, and this, quite obviously they're celebrating. They've got, food enough for everybody. Not sure what this is over here. It almost looks like a sword or like a bow or something. Maybe some sort of decoration. So this can be talking about collaboration and community to get those pentacles. For clarifiers, we have the King of Swords, and this is Odin with Hugin. And you notice the butterfly there. And he's got the bird crown. He's got the three paths. He's balanced in how he's holding the sword and how he's cutting out the negativity in his life. And that negativity could be related to being too isolated and not having this collaboration, or it could be related to collaborating with the wrong sorts of people. So he's representing the truth. He's representing clarity through thinking things through. And this card I have never gotten before. It's called the Well, and it almost looks like her legs and her dress, the way they are, they almost look like a seashell. Just the way she's dressed, and it's very, with the incense coming up like a wave, and her looking out at the ocean. Of course, the well and divination, it makes everybody think of like the oracles in Greece and Rome, in the British Isles. It brings up imagery of that. The book for the Ethereal Visions Tarot says that the well is the birthplace of ideas, hence its opportunity. It's new growth. It's seeking knowledge. And indeed, in a lot of traditional churches, before they're starting the ceremony or whatever they're doing in the church, they do wave these sort of incense, I don't know what you call them, incense holders all over the place, like Catholic churches. And its number being 22, the new start, the new idea. So the Three of Cups is bringing you clarity on this new idea for your growth, for your expansion here in the material world. Now at the bottom of that deck, we have the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is talking about having compassion for yourself, having new ideas and new beginnings. And on the bottom of the Ethereal Visions deck, we have the Ace of Wands. So the bottom is what's hidden from you. The Ace of Wands is potential for new growth and new opportunity. So it's quite similar to the Ace of Cups in a way. And you see this divide between this one side of the deck and the other side. There's castles, and over here there's wilderness, there's forest. And in between there's a valley with water running. There's the unconscious thought, the spirituality, the emotions. And these wands are like the tree. And it almost looks like the hand is going to whoop and plant it right down in that water. And it's going to bridge these two pieces of land. Underneath that, I should mention this, we had the Ace of Pentacles. Even better. And there's that valley again with no more river. So no overthinking, no over emotionality. Just solid earth, solid mountains, stability. When you get to that Ace of Pentacles. I also feel I should mention that aces, it depends on what you're doing with decks, and by decks I don't just mean tarot decks, I mean like regular card decks. Sometimes it depends, I think, on the tarot deck too. But aces, for some reason I have to mention this, aces in tarot are usually like a 1. Because like you would have the Ace of Wands and then you would have the One of Wands. Or not the One of Wands, the Two of Wands. So the Ace of Wands is like the One of Wands. Then you would have the Three of Wands, etc. So this is like intro a 1. Which is the start of the beginning. The 0 intro, or the Fool card, a lot of people think is the start. It's not really. It's somewhat like the Wheel of Fortune like we had yesterday. It's the turning, it's the beginning and the end. Like it's not the actual, necessarily the action. Whereas the Ace is the action. Now, if you're playing with a regular card deck, aces are 0s. So they're akin to the Fool. And these cards are all intertwined. People will say the Fool is the start of the action. They'll say because it's 0 and it's about, most people think of it as about taking the leap of faith. But some people can think of it as thinking about taking the action, thinking about taking the leap. Not necessarily actually taking the leap, but thinking about it, like thinking it's time for change. It's time for these new opportunities, this new growth. And I'm going to explore this potential. And then the Ace can be the actual beginning of that exploration. It's all in how you look at it. You decide personally how you look at it, one way or the other. That's up to you. I'm just saying, and I'm kind of quoting what the books for the decks and what various people over the centuries have said, but I'm also going by my own personal interpretation. So I just thought I should say that about aces. Hopefully you find it helpful, and you have a great Saturday. I'll see you tomorrow. Feel free to leave any comments down below. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Like, dislike, whatever you feel like doing. Have a great Saturday. Bye.